everyone, welcome back to the railroad. The Union Pacific Railroad Evanston subdivision in HO Scale. My name is Daryl Cruz, owner and builder of the layout, and your host for the second episode, the second update episode of 2025. And as you can see, we are moving on to a new section. This is back to the upper level. This is the area or the trackage between Granger and Westvaco and the Westvaco control point. So I did get a start on this, especially on this big broad curve here, going from Granger to the Westvaco mine and plant. So I'm going to do this whole area all the way to the Westvaco control point. One of the first things I did, here you can see where Granger is. I finished that quite a while ago before I start working on the Wholesome cement area. Now I'm back to that area, and one of the first things I did is, here you can see the area that I have left to do. I'll get to the bottom, the Echo Canyon area last. I always do the upper level first. But as you can see, I first of all worked on the backdrops. Put them on first. I did not do a real good job of recording everything as I was doing things, but I did get a backdrop up. Have to fix that little seam there with some rubber cement. This is some pictures that I took out in the Evanston sub with my drone. And these worked out great. These are just some hills. You can hardly tell the seams in the pictures there. They kind of blend together very nicely, but these are some pretty cool hills between Granger and Westvaco, and got a chance to get some good drone video. Kind of got elevated up so I could get a good picture of all of the hills at the right angle, and it actually at this level looks pretty good. I was very happy with the way this looked. And as you can see too, so I'll get to it a little bit later also, the scenery blends in real well with the backdrop. So very happy with the way that backdrop turned out. Then I also used my drone to take some video of the backdrop at the Westvaco mine and plant. And here you can see some pictures, and I went ahead and printed out a backdrop, and I was not happy with this at all. The angle is just, I'm too high with the drone. It looks like from the edge of the layout, you're looking down on the rest of the landscape. So it just is not working. That's one of the drawbacks of not living close to the area that you're modeling. If I live close to it like it did when I did the Rochelle sub, when I lived in Rochelle, I would just go out there and take some more drone pictures and fix it. But not able to do that unless I get out there again, which I probably will someday. But I actually redid all this. I used the same pictures, but what I did does not match very well with the Westvaco control point here. I may replace that backdrop right there. Look, you have this 1 8-foot section that just is greener than everything else. Kind of looks like it doesn't belong. But anyway, I already did some work with my GIMP software, photo editing software, and I basically redid these two backdrops, and I doubled the size of the photo, so everything is bigger, and you don't have a view of the land between the buildings and the edge of the backdrop, the background. So I'm going to redo that. Here you can see how the scenery blends in real nicely. Kind of did things out of the normal procedure or steps. I put the backdrop up first, which is probably not recommended. You probably should do the scenery first, but it actually works out pretty good. I always like to put the backdrops up first, even though it's probably not the best idea, because you have to kind of be careful that you don't get too much scenery work on the backdrop. I always order the satin paper backdrops, but sometimes you get lucky and they have the vinyl in the machine and they don't change out the vinyl because they're too lazy. So even though you order the satin, you get the vinyl, which I did this time. Here you can see something else I did backwards. I should also paint the track right away. So here I got the scenery done, the backdrop in, and I figured out I would have to paint this now with spray paint with my little plastic guard there to protect the backdrop and everything. I used some camouflage, Rust-Oleum camouflage paint, and I used a khaki for the side rails and then dark brown or earth brown from straight down. So the ties get the dark brown and the rails get the khaki. Now, I had been using rust for the sides of the rails, but when I was out at the Evanston subdivision, I noticed on one of the main Class 1 carrier like the Union Pacific Railroad, their rails really aren't that rusty. I think they, on a very heavily trafficked main line, the rails wear out before they have time to rust. So kind of gotten away from doing the red. The khaki, I think, kind of picks up the color pretty well. I'm kind of moving fast here. Sorry about that. Try to move slower here. But you can kind of see how that all the sides of the rails are khaki and then the ties are brown. Still have a lot to do down there yet. And I am going to replace those backdrops still. Now, I also want to do some work on the trackage here. I decided that I was going to move that building back by the support wire and was going to be able to hopefully extend this. I was hoping at first to keep the building closer to the flood loader because I'm going to connect it up with those conveyor belts, but I decided I would just put an extra set of conveyor belts to connect them. And this is a one last piece of Code 70 rail that I was able to use for that. Here you can kind of see the whole layout of the Westvaco. You have a loads in and empties out tracks. There's two of them there, connect on both ends, and then there's some stub end 2-track yard, and then I want to extend the flood loader track a little bit also, so it'll be a little bit longer. So here you can see again how it all kind of lays out. This is actually one of the favorite. It's a cool place to work if you get the assignment to do the Westvaco yard. You're standing up on a platform, so you kind of get a view of the whole layout. You kind of see what's going on in the whole layout, but you also see some pretty good scenes. Here you can see I do have it extended out. So the stub end yard there, and then the flood loader just kind of S-curved it around the building there, so we can put a lot of cars in the flood loading track and then pull more at a time. So I think that's going to make the capacity and the operational interest of this yard a lot more fun. So the person who's working Westvaco has basically getting cars ready for two trains, a westward train and a eastward train that stop at Westvaco to swap out empties for loads. So he has to get the empties changed into loaded through the flood loader and then get the correct cars set into the right track. This is a cool view, by the way. You can see all the way down the line as the train comes in. So as you're working in Westvaco, it's a lot of fun to watch the trains go back and forth, and you do have, of course, a train in both directions that stops here, and you get to do some operations. There you can see the little red switcher that is used. Definitely I'm going to get this backdrop changed out. I had it all done and ready to go. In fact, it's already printed and waiting for me at Walgreens, but it's snowing outside, it's cold, it's winter. I'm old and retired. I didn't feel like getting out of the house. So I'll probably do that tomorrow or sometime. So by next week, you'll see how it looks with a little bit better background. See a couple trains coming through here. I did get a chance to paint the fascia black here. This really looks pretty good when we get the ballast done. This is one of the highest points of the layout. Westvaco is actually the highest, but there's a platform there, so you can actually get a better view of it looking down at it off of the platform. This really turned out to be pretty cool. I really like the way this upper level has turned out. It's a lot of fun to watch trains go by at eye level, and it's really works well with the backdrop, kind of fitting the scene and kind of indicating what part of the country we're in. I also like this heritage unit here, Southern Pacific. I like the pretty cool colors, and the black top and black face kind of make it look tough. Definitely a lot of fun. All right, well, that's it for this week. Hopefully get some more done next week. Had fun watching all the football games this week. Didn't have to worry about whether the Chiefs won or not. Looks like they're going to be playing the Texans, which shouldn't be a problem. Then Buffalo and the Ravens will have to fight it out to see who gets to challenge the Chiefs. But it's all going to end up with a three-peat, so doesn't matter. Here again, you get to see the view all the way down the line. I'm standing on the platform here, so you do get a little bit more of an elevated view from here. And I'm going to paint all this fascia black eventually as well. There you can see the Castle Rock scenery that I started out with. You can hear the Eagles game in the background. All right, that's it. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Have a great week and a great rest of your weekend. If you're a football fan, have fun rooting for your team if they're in the playoffs. Take care, everybody.